How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now I hope the optimism in my voice has kind of lightened the mood a little bit after quite a sad and depressing game week 5. I know personally the game week didn't go according to plan, so I hope this video can kind of lighten up the mood, as I said, a little bit, and we can go on to game week 6 absolutely hyped and highly anticipating our players scoring a lot of points. So let's get on and see how my team did. So as you can see, my team got 47 points in game week 5. I am recording this video on Monday afternoon, so just be aware that the Aston Villa vs West Ham fixture has not occurred yet, so I'm pretty sure my overall rank will go down a little bit as I don't have any players starting in that fixture. So 47 points is currently below the average of 49. It will be below the average come the end of the game week, as I'm sure the average will only get higher after that West Ham Aston Villa game, as I said. But 47 points, not the worst in the world, but however not great. Another below average appearance from my FPL squad, which has seen another red arrow. We currently sit just above the 500k mark, which, to be honest, is quite dreadful, but also a point that I'm sure we can move on from, and kind of a stability point that from now to the end of the season we can hopefully get a lot more green arrows, which can see us push up the ranks. Right now I'm not too disappointed with my squad. As I said in the preview, I'm happy how the squad looked before the deadline. The points aren't looking that great, but I do have faith in the squad that it will perform well and I'll reap the rewards. So getting on to how the team did in game week 5, kind of the game week 5 review, we have Ryan in goal, who was playing my other player Ashley Barnes. I was hoping that those two would complement each other, and if Ryan did not concede and get those 6 points, Ashley Barnes would have the 2, or if Ashley Barnes scored, then Ryan would be on the receiving end of a 2-point appearance. But unfortunately, we got the receiving end of the worst kind of result, a 2-2 from both of them. The game finished 1-1 with a late equalizer for Burnley. Saw that my players kind of both do badly, as it was not Ashley Barnes who scored. Quite disappointing, as I was kind of banking on those two performing well for me, and as I said, kind of took a risk with bringing in Barnes this game week, even though he was playing my goalkeeper. That's one thing I wanted to talk about first, is the transfers that I did make. As you can see, I did transfer out Josh King for Ashley Barnes. On the receiving end of a terrible transfer, Josh King managed 2 assists versus Everton. I think he scored about 10 points, which shows that I could have got a net gain of 8 and would have banked the transfer, so I would have been able to use 2 transfers this game week. But whatever, hopefully Barnes can do well against Norwich, but we'll get onto my team later on in the video. So Lucas Dean managed 0 points, was yellow carded quite late on into that Bournemouth fixture, and they did kind of get pumped a little bit, conceding 3 goals. Luca Dean did have some good assisting chances. I did watch the game a little bit, and he did get forward quite a bit and was offering balls in the box, but simply players like Sigurdsson weren't getting on the end of them, and Richarlison, I think, skied one over. So a little bit disappointing there, as I was hoping that Luca Dean could kind of save my game week a little bit and put in a good shift, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Then we have Andy Robertson with 5 points. Liverpool conceded their only shot on target. It was quite a good goal, to be honest, so Newcastle went ahead in the start of that game. So Andy Robertson lost his clean sheet quite early on, but he did manage to get us an assist, which was quite pleasing, as Trent Alexander-Arnold has been kind of in the limelight currently, overshadowing him quite a lot with his attacking threat. So it was nice to be Robertson to be on the receiving end of an attacking return. Then we have Zinchenko's, as you know, everyone will know in the FPL community, that Man City game, the disappointment of Man City, but the kind of relief of Norwich fans winning that fixture, an absolutely incredible result for them. But however, for my team, wasn't that great, as Zinchenko did only get the 1 point. I'm a little bit worried about Zinchenko. Mendy has been included in the travelling squad to Shakhtar Donetsk of Man City, so keep an eye on that one if Benjamin Mendy does start that game, as we might look to see if there will be some rotation there. However, I don't know if there will be, as Zinchenko is definitely more defensively stable than Benjamin Mendy, and I think right now Pep Guardiola is going to be looking for that defensive stability to kind of get on the end of those results again, where they do win and hopefully keep a clean sheet. Then we have Lundstrom, who gets 2 points. He was substituted on about the 70-minute mark. And as I said in the preview, I'm a little bit worried about Lundstrom. I think that he might be rotated a little bit after that loss on the weekend from Sheffield United. So one to keep your eye on. He does come on at 4.1, so it doesn't really matter that much if he does become bench fodder. But it's always nice having kind of a player that you can rely on sometimes to come on if another player is injured, especially if they're that cheap. So Lundstrom was a little bit disappointed. I thought that he might be able to hold on to that clean sheet, but they did concede. So not too much to complain about, as he is only 4.1. Then going into midfield, we have Mason Mount, who I was so happy managed to score late on in that Chelsea vs Wolves game. A little bit disappointing that he didn't get more attacking returns considering the amount of goals Chelsea scored against Wolves, but I do think that he could have got maybe another assist. He was a little bit unlucky to not get an assist, but there was a little bit of sketchiness around that one, and I think probably the correct decision was granted there. But he did, as I say, manage to score a goal late on and did pick up some bonus points as well. So I was really happy to have him score, and I'm hoping that he can kind of continue this form that he's been in attacking wise, as Chelsea do have some very nice fixtures coming up. Then we have De Bruyne, who was benched at the start of the game. Highly disappointing, but I think we could have expected a little bit of rotation from Pep Guardiola, considering that the Champions League does start this midweek. So De Bruyne came on quite late on, managed to not do anything, but he did look quite sharp, and I think that if he did start the game, would have definitely got an attacking return. So De Bruyne is a tough one, as he does look like he might be rotated every now and again, but I think since Man City did lose against Norwich, I think that he will be a little bit less rotated, as Pep Guardiola knows that he has to play him, as he is basically their star player. Then we go on to Mo Salah, who did score, and I know managed bonus points, something that we don't really see from Mo Salah, but he did manage to pick up 2 bonus points. Mane did overshine him a little bit, but Salah did score a very nice goal, assisted by Firmino, and he does look to be in a little bit of goal-scoring form. I personally do think that Mane is looking the more attacking option, and probably the one that I would have opted for if I did wildcard, so that's one to keep our eye on, as Mane is a little bit cheaper. Then we have Sterling, my captain. I know a lot of you did captain Sterling. Highly disappointing. I know a lot of us were expecting an absolute gargantuan score. Some people were predicting 5-0, 6-0. So I think to Sterling to come out with no attacking returns in the last 2 game weeks is highly disappointing. I'm not too worried about Sterling. I do think that he'll pick up his form again. Hoping it will be this weekend, but we'll talk about my team later on. Then my new transfer in Barnes didn't do anything. Apparently was a little bit quiet. Not that much attacking happened by Burnley in that afternoon fixture, so I want to keep my eye on. I do think he has some very nice fixtures coming up, and which is the reason why I bought him in. Just took a little bit of a punt, as I knew that Josh King was going to decrease in price and Barnes was potentially going to increase. He did recover from a knock, so that we kind of expected, though, as Sean Dyche did say that he would be fit. So I'm hoping that in the upcoming fixtures he does perform a little bit better than he has been, and then we can kind of transfer him on, or even transfer him on if he does not get into that much goal scoring form. Then we have Pukki, who a player that I was going to 100% play. I know a lot of you guys might have benched him, and that is just a little bit unfortunate. I can definitely see the kind of thinking behind it. Man City were always the favourites to win, and they have been quite defensively assured at the start of this FPL season. So to bench Pukki was not that bad of a decision. I know right now it looks like a bad decision, as you do have probably those 12 points, or even Cantwell on the bench as well, but I think that Pukki's shown in this fixture that he does have a little bit of fixture proofness, and I will be definitely keeping him in my FPL squad from now to the end of the season. Looks a season keeper, looks like he can score against anyone. I mean, having scored against Liverpool and Man City, I think that he'll be scoring a lot of goals. They just can't play West Ham every game week. And then going on to the bench, we have Button, nothing to talk about there. Okay, with his 2 points, Bournemouth conceded a goal against Calvert-Lewin, so could have maybe kept the clean sheet there, but I'm happy that Ake didn't get that clean sheet and get those FPL points, as I probably would have been kicking myself a little bit having left him on the bench. Greenwood didn't play, and Dendoncker only had 1 point. So let's get on to how my team sets out for game week 6. So this is how my team sets out for game week 6 with no transfers taking place. So we're talking about my transfer options after this, but without transfer, this is how we're setting out. We have Ryan in goal against Newcastle. not that bad of a fixture. I think that if Brighton can manage to keep the clean sheet, this could be when Newcastle aren't that great going forward. It is an away fixture, so I'm sure Newcastle will be ready to go, but I'm just hoping that Ryan can get the clean sheet in this one, as I don't think in the upcoming fixtures I can see many clean sheets for Brighton. Then we have Luca Dean against Sheffield United. Probably a little bit of an analyzer in this one, as I do think after the Sheffield fixture, we could be looking at transferring him out, as the fixtures do turn a little bit after that. But I think Sheffield United at home is a good fixture for Everton, and I'm pretty sure that they have a good chance of keeping a clean sheet in this one, if they can just keep that defense assured and that midfield kind of going along. But with Luca Dean, as I said, you're always offered that attacking threat, so even if they don't keep the clean sheet, I'm hoping that he can get an attacking return. Then we have Robertson against Chelsea away, and due to the away fixture, I don't think that Robertson's going to be keeping a clean sheet in this one. You never know, as Liverpool are usually quite strong against the top 6 sides, so he could be getting a clean sheet. The one thing to note about Robertson is that he was kind of confirmed a little bit injured and might not play in that Champions League fixture, so definitely one to keep your eye on if you are an owner like me. Then we have Zinchenko against Watford, and I'm kind of backing Man City to bounce back after that Norwich fixture. They're always a lot better at the Etihad, and I'm hoping that Zinchenko can kind of keep his spot and maybe even get some attacking returns. I know I'm saying that basically every game week, but just this game week he was the assister of the assister, which is quite unlucky. Then we have Nathan Ake. I'm currently playing him as I have not made a transfer. Southampton away, not the worst fixture in the world, not the best fixture in the world, as Bournemouth's defense is probably a little bit devastating, so Southampton probably will score in this one, so not keeping that much faith in Ake, and if I do make a transfer, I probably will be benching him. Then we have Mason Mount against Liverpool, and this young Chelsea side can score against basically anyone. So I think that they probably will score against Liverpool, and Mason Mount could be on the receiving end of a goal, but probably more an assist. I probably back Abraham to score the goal if Chelsea are going to score, but I'm happy to have Mason Mount. As I said, his fixtures after this Liverpool game are very nice and definitely going to be holding on to him. Then we have De Bruyne against Watford, hoping that he starts the game, but I think he will. Has kind of had his little bit of a rest this last game week against Norwich, so he should be ready to go. We'll play in the Champions League probably midweek, so keep your eye on that one. But I think that they're going to have a good game against Watford. As you can remember, Watford haven't been that defensively assured. I know that this weekend they put up a good fight against Arsenal with that new manager, but I think against Man City, they always generally get pumped, so I'm backing them to get a lot of goals, and hopefully De Bruyne can get a lot of returns. Then we have Salah against Chelsea away. I think if this was a home fixture, I might be considering captaining Salah, but I think the away fixture is always a little bit more tricky, and I think that Liverpool are 100% a lot better at Anfield than away. So currently the captaincy is on Sterling. I'm also keeping the faith in him. I'm hoping that he can bounce back after kind of getting a dud past 2 game weeks, and I'm hoping that he's been getting some couple goals. I'm sure that he will start in the Champions League as well. So as with De Bruyne, keep your eye on that one. Then we have Barnes and Pukki playing each other, kind of a head-to-head of who's going to be the standout striker this game week. Barnes does have that home fixture, which is probably a little bit better, but Pukki, as I said, can score against anyone, and I'm definitely backing him to get some attacking returns in this one. Hoping that Barnes can kind of maybe give us a farewell present if we do look at transferring out Abraham's in for him after this Norwich fixture, but other than that, I'm hoping for a good game week overall. On the bench, we have Lundstrom against Everton, not expecting much from him, and I think that Greenwood won't play, and then Donker is kind of fallen in the playable bracket, as he does not seem to be getting that forward a lot, and Wolves generally are on quite bad form. So now let's go on to some talking points and transfers to consider. So these are the players that are currently on my watch list for the upcoming game week. I probably won't be able to afford Aubameyang or Son without a hit, so the 2 main transfers that I'm looking at are either Cantwell or Abrahams. Obviously, I could transfer out the likes of Ake. That'll probably be a downgrade to someone cheaper, but I'm currently favoring the more attacking move as I shift my formation around a little bit. So if I do bring in Cantwell, it will be for Dendoncker. I do have quite a lot of money in the bank, so that move won't have a problem. And the nice thing about that move is I can afford Barnes to Abrahams the following game week. So with Abrahams, I could do Barnes to Abrahams this game week, but I just don't really favor that Liverpool fixture, and I want to at least give Barnes another game week after having only transferred him in last game week. So I think Norwich is the perfect farewell fixture almost, and then we can look at transferring the likes of Abrahams in after that. That gives us the perfect timing for Chelsea's fixture swing, and barring any injuries, these are kind of the transfers that I'm going to be looking at. Cantwell rose on Sunday night, so hopefully he won't rise in price too much, and hopefully we can kind of go over those Champions League and Europa League fixtures without any injuries, and then we can consider those transfers. But these are kind of the transfers that I was looking at, and definitely the players that you should be looking at if you are wildcarding or have free transfers in your bank. Son and Aubameyang have kind of hit form a little bit since the last 2 game weeks, and I think with Lacazette out, Aubameyang is a great option. If you do have the likes of Aguero and he does play Champions League, you can easily downgrade Aguero to Aubameyang, and I think Aubameyang is going to be rested in the Europa League hopefully. And I think the main man for Arsenal, as I said, with Lacazette out injured, and Arsenal have great fixtures to about the December period. So these are the transfers I'll be making as I usually do. I'll confirm them over on my Twitter page at Dayvy Fpl. So go over there and follow me if you are not. But otherwise, this is probably going to wrap up the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope this has been informative for you and hopefully regained your hype for the upcoming game week. I know it's been quite a depressing game week overall. So please like the video if you did enjoy and subscribe if you are new. But otherwise, I'm going to be signing off. I'm hoping you guys have an absolutely stellar game week 6 and I'll catch you over on Twitter. This has been Dayvy Fpl and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.